Industrial Surface Solutions. New Coat Coating Systems. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer for Concrete solves the common solvent-based coatings and epoxy lifting problems. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer calculation for theoretical coverage is 300 to 400 square foot per gallon at a recommended spread rate of 4 to 5 mils wet, 0.4 to 0.9 mils dry, and no concrete profiling is required. Once you apply Primera FP1 Fusion Primer to a clean, oil-free, and dry concrete surface, you can immediately start rolling out epoxy or applying your solvent-based coating. You have a 90-minute window. This product dries quickly. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer is compatible with solvent-based epoxy and most solvent-based surface coatings. It is not compatible with water-based epoxy or water-based surface coatings. Profiling concrete methods are not as effective as Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer is like no other primer. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer achieves a 1251 psi pull test result off PVC, where typical solvent-based coatings would simply peel off the surface of PVC. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer is a very fast-drying and thin sol gel-based fusion primer that functions as an inter-coat adhesion primer, or direct-to-substrate primer for superior bonding. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer creates a molecular bridge between a coating and the substrate, chemically fusing the substrate and top coat. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer is very compatible with many surfaces, and many coatings, though water-based coatings are not compatible with Primera FP1 Fusion Primer as top coats. When used on concrete substrates, if concrete is clean and free of bond breakers such as oils, greases, etc., no surface profiling is needed to achieve a strong chemical and mechanical bond with Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer application methods. Spraying. Use a portable alcohol and acetone-proof sprayer with a gray or red tip or an HVLP spray gun with a 1.0 size tip and the pressure set at approximately 25 psi, for Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Spray test patterns until you achieve an elongated pattern 20 to 25 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide in the middle with sufficient fluid to cover but not to puddle the surface you are applying Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Work with a waste bucket so that you start and finish your spraying Primera FP1 Fusion Primer in the bucket and avoid drips on the surface. When you are satisfied with the spray pattern, apply one coat to the surface in a crosshatch pattern to provide sufficient even coverage of Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Rolling. Use an ultra-smooth high-density foam roller and apply Primera FP1 Fusion Primer as quickly as possible in a crosshatch pattern. Do not press down on the roller during application. Brushing. Use a good quality brush and choose a size suitable for the area to be applied with Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Apply Primera FP1 Fusion Primer in a crosshatch pattern. Do not overwork Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Keep the lid on the tin to stop evaporation of Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer has a lot of features. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer solves the common solvent-based coatings and epoxy lifting problems. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer removes the need to sand or mechanically abrade substrates or coatings before top coating. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer provides strong bonding to the hard to bond to, or low or no profile surfaces. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer offers a 90-minute overcoat window. If window is missed, run a screen or light abrasion, and then reapply Primera FP1 Fusion Primer. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer provides covalent bonding at a molecular level and becomes one with the surface they are applied, creating a superior barrier and bonding application. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer can be used on almost any substrate such as concrete, steel, stones, tiles, and glass. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer will penetrate the surface of the substrate. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer is UV stable and virtually invisible. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer benefits are: Primera FP1 Fusion Primer serves as adhesion layer between coating and substrate, or between two coatings. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer can be applied on painted or unpainted iron, aluminum, copper, and other metals, hot-rolled steel, cold-rolled steel, stainless steel, powder-coated and galvanized surfaces, concrete, wood, rubber, plastic, fiberglass, and glass. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer will save you a lot of time and money by eliminating the need to profile concrete prior to application. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer will provide unbeatable bonding for your choice of solvent-based coatings, and or solvent-based epoxies. Primera FP1 Fusion Primer for concrete solves the common solvent-based coatings and epoxy lifting problems. Our Primera products were developed and are proudly manufactured in the USA. For ordering now, visit the site industrialsurfacesolutions.com or call us on 8669463878.